How's it going, guys? Brad here, bringing guys another video on the channel. Um, my top 5 new Alola forms that we need in Pokemon Sun and Moon. As you guys do know, we actually did get 2 new Mons recently, UB Assembly and UB Burst. So it is confirmed we are going to be getting some new Mons, possibly here in the next 2.5 months till the release of the game. If you guys want to see more videos like this, or you want me to continue this series, show some support by dropping a like and letting me know in the comment section down below what kind of mons you want to have in Alolan form, as I go over a few of my top mons in this video. If you want more stuff like this in the future as well, subscribe. That subscribe button down below. We're almost at 600 subscribers, so it'd be greatly appreciated if you guys can do that. And yeah, we're gonna hop right into the top 5. As for number 5, I thought this idea was brilliant. Number 5 is going to be Pikachu. Now, if you guys don't know, I'm going to be looking at this more of a competitive aspect to most of these mods that I would really like to have into the game. I thought this would go perfectly. Pikachu right now, if you guys know Pikachu, it is the mascot mod. It really isn't probably the best mod in competitive. With a light ball is probably the best you're going to get it, or with like a choice item, choice scarf, choice specs, and even then it really doesn't hit that hard just due to lackluster stats. And there were actually different forms. I think it was a beginning of an X and Y or us. Just goes to show you how much I didn't even use those mons because I don't know when they were introduced. Pikachu Bell, Pikachu Professor, I think it was. There was a few other ones. Rockstar, which got like specific moves to each form, and they had pretty much the same stats as well. That really did not do much for the mon. You don't see those mons in competitive very much. You actually see normal Pikachu over all those mons just because those mons really ain't the best and stuff like that. So I think with these mons, I'm going to be looking at more of a competitive aspect as well, which I'll be going over the mon individually with the competitive side to it as well after this. So Pikachu with the Fire Dark typing, very great offensive typing. If you guys know things like that are already Fire Dark typing, Mega Houndoom for example, stuff like that. Great offensive typing. Dark being a very offensive typing, Fire being one of the best types in the game. Abilities, Flame Body and Intimidate, 2 great abilities. And if you guys do know, for example, like Alolan Ninetales, Alolan forms that we did get a bit of a move pool difference as well to accommodate their typing. For example, Alolan Ninetales got Moonblast, Dazzling Gleam, Aurora Veil, a few different things to accommodate for its new Fairy typing and Ice typing. So they can do the same thing with this, and it did get a little bit of different distribution of stats. Not like the biggest stat distribution difference, but it moved the stats around a little bit to the point where it made it a way better mon than regular Ninetales even is with Drought. So just kind of compared to that, because that's probably one of the most relevant Alolan mons that we did get. And as for the other Pikachu form, Ice Ground, great offensive typing as well. If they were to give these mons a little bit more speed, give it at least like 105 base speed, and a little bit more attack or possibly special attack, and take it out of like defense or something like that, like they did with a lot of the Alolan mons for Gen 7. I think these 2 mons would be great in competitive and give these much needed boost. Frozen Body, I'm assuming, would be like Flame Body with 30% chance to freeze upon contact. I think that's a little bit broken, just because I think being frozen is like one of the best like hacks to get on your opponent. It's like one of the worst hacks to get if you're the one being frozen. But I think putting it down to like a 10 or 20% chance to burn, or not burn, freeze with the Frozen Body upon contact probably would be a little bit better. I think 30% is a little bit too much. Flame Body it's kind of okay for, but then again at the same time you can also argue that they're not really the most defensive mons, and probably would not be the most defensive, and probably going down to a hit that it makes contact anyways. So there's 2 ways there. And Overcoat, preventing things like Sleep Powder, stuff like that from affecting the mon. Sandstorm is not, weather is not affected, so kind of cool. Let's take a look at at regular Pikachu and the alternate forms in competitive right now, and how this would actually benefit this mon. Now looking at these 2 Pikachus competitively, Pikachu isn't one of the best mons competitively, and I think the 2 alternate forms, being a fire, dark type, and ice ground type, would definitely help this mon a lot, as from a competitive standpoint. And overall, just seeing the mon a lot more, just because it would be a lot better. Give this mon a base at least over 100, at least base 100 speed. The ability to still have an item probably would be Light Ball. Make the Light Ball still able to be held by the mon, so they're pretty much double attacks. So you would have base. I think they would take a little bit of it, like defense or something. Give it a higher attack, give it a little bit higher special attack to make it where you can run a physical or special mon with both those mons. Give it some fire coverage for that specific mon. Fire. Give it some dark coverage. It does get knockoff, which is cool. That would really be a benefit. Knockoff. As for ice and ground typing, it really doesn't have really that much coverage for it. The only mon that does get ice typing move wise is Pikachu Bell, I think. It does not have any fire typing moves, so I think they would have to do that in the moveset. Give it like Flamethrower, give it like Fire Punch maybe, something like that. Give it a bit more attack to where it's doubled like base 110 maybe. Give it a little bit more like 60 attack, base 120 with Light Ball. It takes up your move slot, so you can't run any other move, or your item slots, you can't run any other items, so you're putting yourself at a disadvantage without only having one item that helps you out, so you're ready to take a disadvantage just to get the extra attack. Make it base 120, give it this another 10 points maybe, attack another 10 points, special attack another 10 points, speed another 10, 15 points, and give it some move pool coverage, ice, give it some ground type moves, give it a dark type, it has knockoff, give it a dark pulse maybe, give it flamethrower, give it physical and special type move for each of its stabs on both the mons. I think this mon would be great. As for Pikachu, any other form, I really can't even find other forms. The other forms are like irrelevant. I think they're down in PU. I don't know, I can't type it in just because I think the letter P is one of my hotkeys right now. Yeah, you have other forms. It does have the new Alolan forms. I guess it does have different forms, but it has like no different stats. That's pretty much all they really have. I don't even think the other ones are even in PU. I think they're probably in PU, but it's just not even on. I think they're actually banned. The other forms, that's why they ain't showing up on here. But yeah, overall, pretty much the gist of Pikachu. On to number 4. Number 4 is going to be Venomoth. Now, as for an alternate Alolan form, I think Venomoth is a very good candidate for that. Venomoth right now, I mean, it does have its uses in competitive, but you're really ain't going to be seeing it that much. It has really nothing that sets it apart from like other bug types. It does get Quiver Dance, it does get Baton Pass, and that's really what sets it out, I guess, from other bug types, from like Volcarona and stuff like that. Most bug types do get Quiver Dance, which I think this would be a great mon. Normally I think it's poison bug typing. Bug Electric would be kind of cool. I always thought actually Venomoth was going to be part of Electric type just because of how it looked. Bug Electric type, the ability Volt Absorb. Volt Absorb is a great ability just because it gives you a full immunity to the electric typing, which is always great to have on a team. As for other abilities, I'm not quite sure what you really could give this. Let me know what you guys think as for like an alternate ability apart from Volt Absorb in the comment section down below. Not really anything off the top of my head. Volt Absorb. Not quite sure what they can give it. Maybe Swarm. They can give it Swarm, I guess. Swarm's kind of a cool ability. You don't see how many mons. Then again, it's more of like a lower HP mod or lower HP type ability, to where your bug moves do get boosted. I think if you're like below 20%. So, very cool. Let's take a look at Venomoth and how this would actually benefit Venomoth in the competitive. As for Venomoth in the competitive scene, Venomoth actually is a pretty solid mon. Being able to do a number of different things. Abilities actually ain't really the worst abilities. Wonder Skin has its own niche, I guess. 50% accurate when used on this Pokemon, so like accuracy or like status moves like Sand Attack, for example, which I don't know who would be running that, but Sand Attack, Thunder Wave is a good one. Will-O-Wisp. Tinted Lens is also great as well. You can run like Specs Tinted Lens. Venomoth. As for stats, base 90 speed isn't the worst speed, but being weak to rocks, if it was a little bit faster, I think it would be a little bit better. Base 7 HP, it doesn't really have the best defenses, but if you can set up Quiver Dance, this thing can definitely sweep teams. Being the Bug Electric type, not quite sure how it really benefit. It does. You could probably give a Thunderbolt, giving it like a Thunderbolt, like a Thunder or Thunderbolt. Giving a Compound Eyes will also be a great ability for the Alolan form of this mod. Or just letting it keep, just get rid of Shield Dust for Volt Absorb and letting it keep the Tinted Lenses or Wonder Skin would be great as well. Those are two great abilities. Shield Dust has its own uses as well, but it's really not that common. Mod's not affected by secondary effects, so I guess like Air Slash, it won't flinch you, so I'm assuming that's what it kind of is. And again, you probably won't be living in Air Slash, so just an example. Does get Quiver Dance, which is one of the best moves in the game. As for stats distribution, it does get Toxic Spikes as well, which is kind of cool. Toxic Spikes, Stun Spore. This thing gets a number of different moves. Sub, Baton Pass, always very cool, even though it's banned. As of right now anyways. I think the only thing that we really need to give this thing for in the Alolan form would give it Electric type stab. Give it like Charge Beam, Thunder possibly. Even if they give this thing Volt Switch, that'd be great. Volt Switch, give it Thunderbolt. It doesn't even need to have Volt Switch, but that'd be kind of cool to have on this mod. I think we give it a little bit of an advantage over a lot of other things. I mean, like the only other Bug Electric type I can think of off the top of my head is Galvantula and Vikavolt, which both get Volt Switch, but one's decently fast and one's kind of slow, so I guess it would be a bit different, but I think having Volt Absorb and two great abilities in Tinted Lens and Water Skin would really set the thing apart from those two other mons, especially with the move pool this thing really does have. As for stats, if they want to give it a little bit more special attack, a little bit more HP, possibly that would be kind of cool. A little bit more speed. You can pretty much go either way. Give it some more special defense, give it a little bit more bulk would be kind of cool as well. Then again, this thing does get Quiver Dance, so that could be very scary. It all pretty much depends where they really want to put the stats. But on that, on to number 3. Number 3, and I think would be a great candidate for an Alolan form that would fit the mod greatly, would be Gyarados. Now, Gyarados having an Alolan form would be a Water Dragon type. Not quite sure what ability off the top of my head I would give this thing. I think Intimidate would still be very good for this mod, just because of the way it would look. If they wanted to give this thing like just keep like Intimidate on the mod, or if they wanted to give it like a new ability, give it something decent. I think Strong Jaw would be kind of a cool hidden ability for this thing as well, just because it gets a lot of bite type moves. It gets, I think, Ice Fang, Crunch, a lot of cool things. You can give this thing Dragon Fangs, which would be kind of cool. Give it like a new Fang type move. Gets a lot of different things. I think the overall design depicted here would be a great design to add in game. Just imagine this thing in 3D, popping off the Pokeball and actually appearing in battle. 100% sick. And with the shiny Gyarados being red Gyarados, I think it would look absolutely sick in red form. Having the normal version be like an orange, like a light orange, and the red would be very, very cool hue for the rarer type red Gyarados. Let's take a look at Gyarados in competitive and how this Water Dragon typing would benefit it, and what I do think of it in competitive. As for Gyarados right now in competitive, it is a very, very solid mod. Being 4 times weak to electric is probably the biggest weakness that really does set it back, so you have to look out for fast electric types or HP electric mostly. But if you have that scouted, it's a very, very solid mod to stick on your team. Stats are very good as well. The only thing it really kind of lacks in is speed, but it does have a good move in Dragon Dance to boot, so you can always up its speed and its attack. For a low end form, I think they would take a little bit out of possibly special defense, give it a little bit more special attack to make it to where you can actually use a Gyarados especially viable. It has Hydro Pump the way it is. It has a lot of cool special things. It does have Dark Pulse. It actually has Dragon Pulse and Dragon Tail. As for Dragon Stab, if you were to get the Dragon typing, I think that we give it more special attack would be kind of cool. Up its special attack to like base 90. Possibly take a little bit out of attack, or take some out of speed or defense. Even take some out of speed, just because it has Dragon Dance, and The Water Dragon type is a very, very good typing as well. Um, as for water type coverage, you guys pretty much know a lot of the stab it does get. Aqua Tail, Waterfall, it gets a lot of coverage moves, deal with opposing mons. Earthquake, Facade, it does get fire coverage as well, which is kind of cool. And if we were to get like things like Strong Jaw, Ice Fang, you could always take advantage of that. It does get Outrage, it has Dragon Stab, which hits so hard. Outrage does get Scald for special Mega or special Alolan Gyarados would be kind of cool. Surf, a lot of different things. It does get Thunderbolt, kind of cool. I think if they were making it a little bit more specialty mon for Alolan Gyarados with the Water Dragon typing, I think that would be very, very cool. It has a very good special move pool right now, and if they were to give it like maybe Dragon Claw, it's probably like the only thing they can really use. Dragon Claw, and maybe like, I know it gets Hydro Pump, so you can hit really hard with Hydro. It does get Hydro. So, and plus with the introduction of Z moves, there's a lot of possibility for this mon. It already gets Dragon Dance. As for abilities, Intimidate, does it already get Moxie as well? So if they want to keep Moxie, give it a special type Moxie like Soul Heart. Give it something similar to Soul Heart. Maybe if they wanted to, they could always give this mon Soul Heart as well for a special type Moxie. If they wanted to make it like a special Alolan Gyarados, that would be very, very cool. Let me know what you guys think of this in the comment section down below. What would you guys give Gyarados for an ability and for move pool, and what do you think the stat distribution, if any, should be different about Alolan Gyarados? On to number 2. And for number 2 is actually going to be Doledrio. I think this mon really needs an Alolan form. Mostly not really that it's because it's bad per se. It did get a buff for Gen 7, which was very, very good. It got a bit of a speed boost, I think a bit of an attack boost, which did benefit very, very well. I think if it was a different typing, that would give mon a lot more viability though. Right now I think it's actually RU. It does hit pretty hard. If you can like slap a choice band on it, it's pretty fast. It's able to use the flying spam very, very well. And it did get things like Jump Kick and a few other things we will go over here in the next few minutes. But as for an Alolan form, I think this was a very, very cool idea as an ice flying type. Now we don't have any ice flying types in the game. I think the only one I could think of at the top of my head was Articuno. So Snow Cloak and Run Away, not really the best abilities. I think if they were to give this thing ability for like an ice type, they should give this thing Snow Warning. I think that would set this mon up to like UU probably, just because Snow Warning is a great ability. Look what it did to Vanillux. Vanillux is now like high tier NU. Probably not the best example. Probably not the best example for it, but things like Mega Bomb of Snow, or a regular Bomb of Snow before it evolves into Mega Bomb of Snow. Really did mon great just because it's 100% accurate blizzards and stuff like that in the hail. And being part flying, it really hits very hard on the flying type side. Flying Spam is always great to have, especially when you're in the lower tiers, just because there's not really that many good switch-ins down there. Apart from like bulky rock type and steel types, which it has coverage for. It has Jump Kick now, so if it has problems with that, you can always just run Jump Kick. Run Away, really don't see that ability doing too much unless it's like in game. In game's like the only thing it has a useful for. Snow Cloak, I mean, in the hail it gives it a evasiveness boost, but apart from that, you're not going to be seeing that much. I think if you were to give this mon ability, Snow Warning would be the way to go. Let's take a look at regular Doledrio and how this different typing would. Now, regular Doledrio, like I said, actually did get a buff in this gen. I think it got a little bit of a speed buff and a little bit of attack buff. It's based 110 and 110 speed and attack. As for 2 abilities, it really does have Runaway, which does like nothing. It has no competitive use, like it says on Showdown. Tangled Feet, I mean, ability is doubled, or the evasiveness is doubled. So if it's confused, not really the best ability. Not many people are going to be running Confuse Ray and stuff like that down here just because it got nerfed this gen to 25%, so it's not the best ability. I think the best ability it has right now, normally, as a normal flying type, is Early Bird. If you switch on like Elite or a Sleep Powder or a Spore, you're able to wake up a little bit earlier. As for move pool, if it was an ice flying type, they would need to give this thing some ice type coverage. Give this thing Blizzard. I think actually it might actually get Blizzard. A lot of normal types actually do get some very cool coverage. It actually doesn't even get Blizzard. Never mind. It does not get Blizzard, guys. No Blizzard. So If they were needed to give that, they'd probably give it like Blizzard. Blizzard, give it Icicle Crash, something like that maybe. Um, Flying typing, it does have Brave Bird, which is probably its best move. Brave Bird, Drill Peck is kind of cool as well. A power move, and you don't take any recoil. It does have things like Agility, Baton Pass for Switch Initiative. Always want to run that. Dropping the normal typing though does give it a bit of a disadvantage just because you can't run things like Facade, which got a huge buff this gen, just because of the burn nerf. Things like Ursaring and a lot of the fighting type like Hariyama, and I think Throw, which has Guts as well, did get a huge buff just because of the burn nerf. And Facade in general did get a huge buff just because of that. I just get a lot of coverage though for like bulky rock types and steel types, which just wall the shit out of flying normal type or flying ice type. Jump Kick would destroy those. You could always run Jump Kick on there. Knockoff does get priority in Quick Attack, so would have priority. If they wanted to, they can always give it Ice Shard as well, which would be very, very cool. I think the only bad thing about an ice flying type is you're 50% weak to rocks, just like Articuno, so I'm not quite sure if that would be very, very good for the Mon. If they want to do something with the Mon, they would have to give the Mon a lot of cool ice type moves, like Icicle Grass, Ice Shard, maybe Aurora Veil. If they wanted to give it like an ability, they would probably need to give it Snow Warring Aurora Veil to make the Mon really, really viable, just because it has a 50% stealth rock weakness. As for stats, I think it has very solid stats right now, but if they wanted to, they could always give it a little bit more special attack investment. Maybe a little bit less attack from more special attack, just because it might have Blizzard, something like that. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below, what they would probably do as a slight different stat distribution. Let me know what you guys would think in the comment section down below. And overall, what should they give for moves? It has flying typing and Brave Bird and Drill Peck. What else should they give it for the ice typing stab for this Mon? Let me know in the comment section down below. And on to number. And for number one, number one is actually 3 Mons, which I guess you guys wouldn't really say it would be a specific number one, which I'm just gonna go right into it. This idea is brilliant. I do think this is a very, very unique idea for these 3 Mons, these 3 starters, Blastoise, Venusaur, and Charizard. Now Charizard, with the Megas, you can say it is a very, very good Mon, but regular Charizard is very, very, very bad. I guess not really in the lower tiers, just because in the lower tiers it does have a bit more viability, just because there isn't really the best defoggers or rabbit spinners down there. I guess not as many. Not really what I meant to say. Not as many defoggers or rapid spinners. Not having a defogger or rapid spinner is a problem for regular Charizard, just because it's 4 times weak to rocks, takes 50% upon entry. Same with normal Charizard, but they're Megas. Megazard Y is probably the only issue, but they gave it enough stats, and with the move pool it already had, it's still a very, very good top tier OU Mon, along with Megazard X, and the Dragon Dance capabilities that it does have, along with Stab, Flare Blades, etc. Water Dragon, very, very unique for Charizard, just because it already has Dragon coverage. The only thing they would really have to do is give it some Water type stab, give it Waterfall, maybe Surf. Aqua Tail would be very, very cool. Aqua Tail is Charizard for an Alola form, very, very cool. Now, out of all of them, I think this is probably the one that's least likely to happen, but I do think it's the coolest concept, and that is why it's number 1 on this list. These 3 Mons. Now on to Venusaur. I'm not really going to be going over any of these Mons in competitive either, just because I'm going to pretty much just be stating off the top of my head from what competitively viable and stuff like that. Mostly competitive about these Mons, just from what I know. I really don't want to go over these 3 Mons specifically. Venusaur being a fire ground type. Now, normal Venusaur being a green, I was going to say green, grass and poison type is probably one of the best typings in the game. It's a very, very good typing. And especially Mega Venusaur is probably one of the best Megas, if not the best Mega in the game. Some people argue that's probably the best Mega in the game. I've used it, it's an insanely great Mega. Fire ground typing really isn't the greatest typing. It's 4 times weak to water. You're weak to ground as well. You're weak to a lot of common typings. Ground spam is very, very common. Water types are like on most teams, like 90% of teams. If you don't have a water type on your team, then you're at a really disadvantage the way it is, just because water type is very, very common, and probably the most common type in the game. You're weak to a lot of common types, and I think you lose out on a lot of key resistances that the poison and grass typing does give you as a normal Venusaur. So I don't know, out of like all of these, I think Venusaur is the one I least disagree with, but I do like the design. The design is great. A bit similar to Camerupt. I think that's where they really took their inspiration. It's a bit similar to Camerupt. I think a bit too similar. If they would want to change it up a little bit, I think that would be recommended. But I do really like the design overall. I think it's very, very cool. As for Blastoise Alolan form, grass flying type, pretty much the same typing as Rowlet was. So for Blastoise, a grass flying type. I'm assuming just that they keep all their same abilities or their same move pools as well. They would have to give Venusaur some fire type move pool. It does get Earthquake, which is kind of cool. They would have to give it Earth Power probably as well. Give it some Fire Stab, give it some Ground Stab, give it Earth Power. It already has Earthquake, like I said. As for Blastoise, Blastoise has no grass coverage. It has no flying coverage, so they have to do something on that front. Give it Aerial Ace, something like that. Decently viable flying type move. Maybe even Wing Attack, which same base power as Aerial Ace, just doesn't have the 100% accuracy to it. So Grass Stab, give it Leaf Blade. Leaf Blade is a very, very solid grass type move. You want to give it some special type coverage. For flying, give it Air Slash, give it Giga Drain, stuff like that. Solar Beam, very, very cool. And especially with the introduction of Z moves, I do think these mons would be very beneficial to all that as well. Blastoise having Rapid Spin. I mean, I guess it's weak to rocks. If grass flying, it would be taking 25%, but still has Rapid Spin. Grass flying isn't the worst typing. It is 4 times weak to ice, which is probably the only typing it really has to look out for. If they would give it a little bit more speed. Blastoise is kind of bulky right now. It's kind of slow, so I'm assuming with Blastoise they would give it a little bit more speed and a little bit more offensive probably. For the Venusaur, probably the same. Not quite sure what they really would do with Alolan Venusaur if this would come to fruition. Charizard, it has base 100 speed, I think base 100 special attack and attack. I think that's what it is. I wouldn't really change too much about Charizard. I think a little bit more speed. Or possibly just give it a little bit more bulk and take some out of the speed and attack and stuff like that. So let me know what you guys do think about this in the comment section down below. Let me know what you guys would do and what abilities would you give these mons. I'm not sure what abilities I would give these mons. Probably like the standard starter type abilities like Torrent and Torrent Blaze and probably like Overgrow is probably what they would get. But let me know what you guys think these abilities for these last 3 mons should get in the comment section down below. If you guys made it this far, I honestly appreciate it. Feel free to hit that subscribe button. We are on our way to 600 subscribers. Hopefully we do reach that by the end of the month. That is my goal. Drop a like, share this video, that would be awesome as well. Put a lot of work into this video, so I would really appreciate that. And yeah, if you guys want more videos and want me to continue this series, let me know in the comments and by hitting that like button. And I'm gonna get out of here. See you guys in the next video. Hopefully you did enjoy. And yeah, see ya. Peace.